Dabu 7, more information pertaining to this flight that allegedly went down in the Ukraine. Now, as we get more information, things change, but I want to point this out. The man that you're looking at here was said to have been killed aboard the flight, Flight 17, that went down. His last social media post was this, out the window, a picture of the plane that he was boarding, stating that this is it. If anything happens, this is what it looks like. Kind of joking in hints to Flight 370. Well, now we know that apparently they're stating this guy and many others are gone. Problem is, when you observe the plane that this man boarded, it is a different plane than what went down in the Ukraine. This is plane spotters. You see that tail number? MRC? This is big information. You see that RC right there? That right there is the plane that this guy took a picture of out the window and that he was boarding. I mean, they're right there. Getting ready to walk in. Is there any other way to verify this? No, but with all of everything else that we've found thus far that should not have been there, not stuff that does not make sense, all these red flags, this is just another one. And you can't overlook it because this could be potentially huge. Now, we need to look into more information on this RC flight, exactly where it's at, and if we can get new plane spotter shots of this plane exactly, because apparently this man boarded this plane and they're saying that he's dead. Went down in Flight 17. Now, the plane that went down has an RD. This is supposed to be the Flight 17 here. And you can see MRD right down here on the back. Many people jumped the gun and were claiming that this was Flight 370. So many people wanting to fit this into their own conspiracy theory. And look, things change. Information changes. And theories are going to change. With that said, but you can't go trying to make something out of something that's not. If I thought that this was Flight 370 at the gate, I would have said so. I've never thought, because just of the information that we've got thus far. But the game is always changing. See that MRD? That is definitive proof, guys, that this flight right here with the MRD on the back hatch was blown to pieces. This plane right here with that RD, somehow, some way, at some point, it was blown to pieces. So, whether it was on the ground or in the air, it's been destroyed, and that piece right there shows it. Now, people were thinking that this was Flight 370. If it was 370, you would see MRO on the back, and you would see RO up here on that wheel section. Okay, plus a huge difference between Flight 370 and these other craft, if you're paying attention, is the engine. The Rolls-Royce engine is different. Do you see that? Now the RD and the RC both have these flat, flush engines on here. Flight 370 didn't. It had a indentation, like an intake part, right here all the way around it. That is a big difference. Remember that. Now, it's all speculation at this point, because how can anyone prove that this is the case? Well, we need to go looking and see if we can find this MRC, because it should still be flying. It should still be out there. And we need to track that flight data, because as of right now, they canceled the flight MRD right here that supposedly went down in Ukraine. This was canceled before it ever even took off. Another thing is, if the guy was boarding, other people brought this up in this story, if this guy was boarding this RC here, how come if he was going where he was going, the plane that he should have been on should have been 2 hours off in the air? None of it makes any sense. It's just more information I want to throw out there so you guys can see. This was the plane the guy was getting ready to walk onto. You think he would know. He took the picture. He posted it. This is the only proof that we have. Now they're saying he's dead. And if that's the case, these people boarded another flight, which means that the plane that came down or was blown up in the Ukraine with all them bodies that were reeking could have really been Flight 17 right here, because the MRD, as I've showed you, is there. Question is, if that's the case, is where did the MRC flight go and all the people on it? See, this is developing. It's not Flight 370. Many people, oh, they could have painted it, this and that. I don't think so. 370 is different. A whole different ballgame here. And as I showed you, the features are different. You can look at the engine itself. Now, I'm going to leave you on this. I noticed a couple other people out there doing some work on the engine and the debris. Check this out. And this is big time. The UK government saying that the rebels deliberately placing parts of other planes in the debris. That's huge. It's huge. It changes everything. Everything, if that's the case. Once again, I'm going to leave links for all this information. A lot of proof here. It's not Flight 370. Even from the windows, all the new pictures show it's not Flight 370. But questions are arising on what flight did they really get on, though? Because what this guy put out that's supposedly dead is showing a different flight. So I'll leave links. Keep your eyes open for the next video that I put out. It's going to be jam-packed with every ounce of proof that we have. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be covering all bases, and it's going to be for the whole world to see so they can decide for themselves. It's been Dabu7. Peace.